Dear students, today I am going for a new topic, that is characters and classification of protochordates, significance of protochordates in evolution. This PPT actually prepared by one of my MSc second student, Sheikh Mahjabin Samad, but I have done now correction and I am making the video and my details are below. In this topic, this is the synopsis. We will be going to cover introduction, chordates and protochordates, general characters, classification of protochordates, details of the hemichordata, details of the urochordata, details of the cephalochordata, significance of protochordates in evolution. Now, introduction. It is introduction to the chordates. Balfour in 1880 created a last animal group known as phylum Chordata. The name Chordata is derived from Greek word, the word chord meaning a cord or a string, or ata meaning bearing. The organisms which bear a stiff supporting rod-like structure along the back, the notochord at some stage of their lives. Three main diagnostic characters of chordates are presence of notochord, presence of dorsal tubular nerve cord, presence of pharyngeal gill cleft or slits. Now that all about it was the chordates. Now we are going into primitive chordates. It is the protochordates. Now I am giving the introduction. The organism belong to protochordata are generally known as lower chordates. They form a major group of chordata. They are also known as acreniates because they lack skull. On the basis of notochord present, they are divided into three subphyla: hemichordata, urochordata, and cephalochordata. This is what the total classification. Protochordata is divided into three subphyla. Hemichordata, that means having a half notochord. Urochordata, that means having the notochord only in the tail region. Cephalochordata, it is a head chord where the notochord is present right from the rostrum up to the tail, so that even it is present in the cephalic region. It is called cephalochordata. Now, characters of protochordates, or otherwise they are called as acrenia. It is because they lack skull. Let us see the general characters. All the species which are present are marine, small, primitive, or lower chordates. They lack a head, a skull, or cranium, and a vertebral column, jaws, and brain. There are about 2000 species widely distributed around the world. Their body is bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and coelomated. At the certain stage of their lives, their body develops a long rod-like structure for the support called notochord. They exhibit organ system level of organization. Now, let us see subphylums one by one. Subphylum 1, it is the hemichordata. The classification is chordata. Subphylum hemichordata, class is acreniata. Hemichordates are primitive chordates. They consist of worm-like animals. They bear half notochord, hence they are included under phylum chordata and subphylum hemichordata. General characters of hemichordata. Let us see their habit. They exclusively found in the marine water. They are solitary or colonial, mostly tuberculous. That means they live in the tubes, in the sand or mud. Body It is soft, fragile, unsegmented, bilaterally symmetrical, and triploblastic. Body is divided into three regions as proboscis, collar, and trunk. Normally, classification what happens, head, tail, and trunk. But here, see the difference. Tail is totally absent. Body is divided into proboscis, the front region, no head. There is a collar and a trunk. Body wall consists of single layer of epidermis with mucous gland. Coelom. Coelom here is enterocoelous, divided into three portions corresponding to the three regions. Here about the coelom, there are three types of coeloms: acoelomate, pseudocoelomate, and true coelomate. Further, they have been divided into two types. One is schizocelic, another is enterocoelic. Enterocoelic is the most advanced one, so that it is a chordate character. Enterocoelic coelom is present in these, and it is divided into three portions. Digestion. Digestive system is complete. It is a straight tube or U-shaped tube. Notochord. It occurs only in the anterior end of the body. I will tell later about the notochord and the special this one by the end of this. Respiratory system includes only pharyngeal gill slits, and they are filter feeders. They are only sucking the water, whatever the animals which come in that, whatever the marine organisms which are coming, they will be taken as a food. That is what is called as filter feeders. Circulation. Circulatory system is simple and open type, including a dorsal heart. Excretion. Excretory system consists of single proboscis gland. Usually you will be finding selenocytes and different all this, but here you will find a proboscis gland as a excretory organ in the hemichordates. Nervous system. It is primitive, consisting of subepidermal nerve plexus and occur in both on the dorsal and ventral surfaces. Reproduction. It is by sexual method. Sexes are separate. Development. It is direct or indirect. You know what is the difference between direct development and the indirect development. If there is a larval stage, then it is called as indirect development. If it is direct, it is called as direct development. Here the larvae, what we call is Tornaria larvae. This is what Tornaria larvae. Fertilization. It is external in the seawater. Example here is Balanoglossus. Balanoglossus, especially hemichordates, we are not finding a perfect chordate characters here because the diverticulum is called as the notochord. There are total confusions. Anyway, it has been kept in hemichordata. For the details, you go through book and see the details of Balanoglossus, then you will come to know whether these three diagnostic characters are present in these animals or not. Details will be seen. Anyway, in the next class somewhere, I will be concentrating only on the Balanoglossus. Whether they are true chordates or not, that I will see in the next class. This is what the animal. It is the photograph. This is the proboscis region. This is the collar region. This is completely the trunk region. So that it is the photograph. That is how the body is divided into three regions. Example here is Balanoglossus. There are more than 70 species, and usually they are 2.2 to 2.5 meter long, marine, live in the shallow water, solitary. They live singly. Body is divided into the same thing: proboscis, collar and trunk, well developed gill slits, and stomochord. Dorsal strand of nerve cells, precursors of dorsal hollow nerve cord. Reproduction is sexual. They live in burrow. They are filter feeders. This is the diagram of Balanoglossus. You can see the total structure: proboscis, collarate, a collar, branchial region, gill pores, dorsal curved genital wings, mid-dorsal ridge, hepatic ceca, hepatic region. This is the anus region and postherpetic region. Subphylum to Urochordata. Classification: Chordata, subphylum Urochordata, group Craniata. Let us see the general characters of urochordates. They are commonly called as sea squirids. Habitat: exclusively found in the marine water, only in the sea. Habitat: they are solitary, maybe colonial, mostly sedentary. Some of them are free living. Body: they grow about 0.25 to 250 mm in length. Body is sac-like without appendages and tail. Body is covered by a protective test or tunic which is siliceous hard. It is made up of tunicin similar to that of cellulose. This is the chemical substance which is test is made up of. A terminal branchial aperture is present and a dorsal atrial aperture is also present, so that there are totally two openings, brachial aperture and the atrial aperture. Coelom is absent, instead an ectoderm lined atrial cavity is present. Digestion: alimentary canal is complete. The pharynx bears cilia. They are ciliary feeders. That is what, once again, they are filter feeders only. With the help of cilia, they will be taking the food inside. Notochord. Notochord is present only in the larval stage, that too in the tail region. Hence, they are named as urochordate. The name uro means in the tail region it is present. Dorsal tubular nerve cord is present in the larval form. It degenerates in the form of ganglion in the adult. Respiration: it is through test, that is tunic or gill slits, so that whole body is involved in the respiration. That is the test. Body covering is the test. Circulatory system. Circulatory system is open type. Heart is simple, tubular, ventrally situated. Excretion. Excretion is by neural gland, pyloric gland and nephrocytes. Here you can see three types: neural, pyloric and nephrocytic gland, whereas proboscis gland was present in the hemichordate. Now let us see the reproduction. Asexual reproduction takes place by budding. Adult possesses a single dorsal nerve ganglion. Development: it is direct, including a free swimming tailed larvae with basic chordate characters. It undergoes retrogressive metamorphosis. Concentrate, students, on the word retrogressive metamorphosis. Progressive metamorphosis, usually progressive. Egg, larvae and adult. But here what happens, it as grows as adult, it will be losing its progressive characters. Instead it will become into a primitive, so that the word retrogressive metamorphosis used. See the details how a retrogressive metamorphosis takes place, that we will study in the next topic. Fertilization: they are hermaphrodite. Cross fertilization occurs externally, and the example is Acidia. These are all Acidians, beautifully colored with different colorations. You can see both the atrial aperture and two opening anal apertures. This is how. Everywhere in each individual you will find all this one, two openings. Now some of the characters of Acidia, commonly called as sea squirids. Notochord and post-anal tail is present or found in the larval stage only. They are marine, colonial or solitary, And sessile adults, what happens? Larvae is a free living one, adult becomes a sedentary one. That is what here what happened. They are all attached to the substratum. These are all the adults. Whereas a larva, it is free swimming. Hardly it is about 8 to 9 hours the larvae will be swimming freely. After that it gets attached to the substratum. So that adults become sessile adults. They are hermaphroditic. As you know, hermaphroditic means both the male and female sex organs are present in the same animal. And filter feeders, they too are filter feeders. They will be simply drinking the water, and whatever the food comes inside, that will be drunken by. This is the diagrammatic representation of the ascidian animal. This is the oral or brachial aperture, what you call, and another is atrial aperture. This is what? There is a atrial siphon which is sucking and living. And this is what the substratum, with the help of food, it has got attached to the substratum. This is what the diagram of a ascidian. Now coming to the third subphylum, Cephalochordata classification, phylum Chordata, subphylum Cephalochordata, and it comes under the group Acrania. General characters of cephalochordates: habit. They are also exclusively found in the water, that is marine and widely distributed. Habitat: they are mostly sedentary and buried in the sand. Body: body is small, elongated, slender, fish-like, adapted for burrowing, swimming, grows up to 5 to 8 centimeters in length. Body is divided into trunk and tail. Head is absent. Appendages are absent. Maiden dorsal, caudal fin, ventral fins are present. So that here you will be finding only two types of fins. One on the above, that is dorsal fin, and another is the down, that is called as ventral fin. Body wall consists of a single line, thick, non-ciliated epidermis, single layered. Digestive system is complete, anterior and ventral mouth. Pharynx is large, perforated by numerous persistent gill slits. Persistence means they will be present throughout their life. They are filter feeders. Why the word persistent is used here is, when you go to the urochordates will be losing all the advanced characters. Advanced characters of chordates are presence of notochord, presence of dorsal tubular nerve cord, presence of gill slits. In the urochordate, all the three characters are lost, but here all the three characters are retained in this group, so that gill slits, persistent, they are filter feeders. Notochord is rod-like, extending from rostrum to the tail. Rostrum, it is the nose, the tip of the front part, to tail. Hence, they are named as cephalochordate, up to the cephalic region, up to the head region. But there is no division as head. Head is absent here. Respiration, it is through general body surface. There are no special respiratory organs. Circulatory system is well developed, closed type, without heart and respiratory pigments. Excretion is by protonephridia with solenocytes. See the difference. First one, it was only the proboscis gland. Second one, there were three types. Here in this group, you will be finding only two types: protocardite, the protonephridia. These are the primitive excretory organs, or otherwise the solenocytes. A single cell, they are called as solenocytes. They are involved in the excretion. This is what a beautiful picture of Amphioxus. Amphioxus lanceolatum, because see the sharpness of this one. Lanceolatum, it is a sharp, this one, it is like an arrow. This is the ventral fin, this is the dorsal fin, ventral fins. It is the mouth, this is the tail here is the mouth. These are all ciliary appendages through which the food is taken in. These are all whitish, what you call, they are all gonads. This is also gonads. A beautiful picture which is displayed on the screen. You can see number of myotomes. These are all muscle bands where you will be finding. These are all called as myotomes. This is what. Now the characters are continued. Nervous system is well developed, having a dorsal tubular nerve cord without brain. Reproduction, sexes are separate. Gonads are numerous and metamerically repeated without gonoduct. No asexual reproduction. Development is indirect, including a free swimming larva. Fertilization, it is external in the seawater. Example is Amphioxus, or otherwise you can call Branchiostoma lanceolatum. Lanceolatum, that is arrow-like structure. This is the total diagram. These are called as buccal cirri, rostrum, notochord. You can see the myotomes, dorsal fin, caudal fin, tail. Here is the anus. It is the heteropore. Heteropore is the water which comes inside, involved in the respiration, which is taken out. Heteropore. These are all gonads. This is what the position of the pharynx. This is the oral hood. Metapleural folds. Position of the atrium. Ventral fin ray boxes. Ventral fin. This is what the diagrammatic representation of the Branchiostoma, or otherwise Amphioxus. Entire animal. It is from the side view. Now coming to the important topic, evolution of protochordates. How the protochordates further evolved. Recent protochordates are thought to have evolved from ancestral stock as that which gave rise to vertebrates. Two main theories have been gained in general acceptance as to how the vertebrates may have evolved. First theory, one theory proposes that the ancestral form was sessile, that is attached, perhaps like a pterobranch, but with an unspecialized larvae. This larvae adapted to an independent pelagic life. Pelagic is free swimming on the upper surface, and becomes sexually mature. Subsequently, the sessile stage was lost and the vertebrates evolved to form free swimming animals. The other more recent theory postulated that the chordates from a small fossil group called mitrates. This is the second theory. So that first one is, it is the pterobranchs. Second one is the mitrates, are the groups which gave rise to protochordates. Now let us see the significance of protochordates. What is the significance of the protochordates? The significance of protochordates is of little economic importance, but protochordates have a great phylogenetic significance to zoologists because they become the evolutionary link in between the invertebrates and the vertebrates, so that they have got phylogenetic significance. They exhibit great affinities and perhaps the common origin with the living vertebrates. They retain the three basic chordate characters throughout the life, such as Protochordates are considered as the most primitive borderline chordate close to the ancestors, which probably give rise to final and the largest group of chordates and vertebrates. Students, study well. Thank you.